Because yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had, but even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out.
This shit, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
So small.
Jake Paul was shocked by Gervonta Davis's monster-like training, but he stayed confident. He admitted Davis is a strong fighter, yet trusted his own preparation and mindset. Paul said positivity and self-belief have pushed him through 5 years of hard training and steady improvement. He noted that despite countless sparring sessions, he has never been knocked out, which boosts his confidence. For Paul, stepping into the ring is more than skill. It's about proving that belief and discipline make the difference. The biggest obstacle to a clash between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul is the massive weight gap. Davis made his name in the lighter divisions, where his speed and explosive power dominate opponents his size. Paul, meanwhile, fights naturally much heavier in the cruiserweight range. For fans and experts, the concern is that this isn't just a few pounds, but a gulf that makes the matchup nearly unrealistic. When weight differences are too wide, skill alone isn't enough. Size brings strength, endurance, and punch resistance. That's why many see this fight as more fantasy than reality. Even with its spectacle appeal, promoters can't ignore the risks of putting a naturally smaller man against a much larger opponent.
And the fact that y'all believed it, I don't know, you're stupid. So Rick Thompson, chairman of the Georgia Athletic Commission, told USA Today Sports that Paul's promotion company withdrew its request for permits and a rule waiver, citing the 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. The Rick Thompson guy straight up said they've been promoting something they should not have been. Come on, guys, use your brains. Y'all boxing fans, you understand this. This fight was never gonna happen. This is the article from USA Today. It says the status of the proposed fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis under scrutiny because of the weight discrepancy between the two fighters. Rick Thompson is coming out and saying this stuff because he said he believes it's in the public's best interest to know that they've been promoting something they should not have been. Communications director for the Office of the Secretary of State told USA Today Sports the event will not be happening. But funny enough, tickets are still available. You could still purchase them online, and the fight is still listed on the state.
Controversy deepened when reports surfaced that Georgia refused to host Gervonta Davis, pushing Jake Paul to redirect his preparations to Miami. The episode highlights the chaos that often surrounds negotiations for high-profile exhibition bouts. States consider not just financial gain, but also regulatory risks and reputational factors before sanctioning events. For Davis, Georgia's rejection shows how his name still brings both excitement and baggage. For Paul, the move to Miami aligns with his brand of noise and headlines. Relocation changes not only logistics, but also the crowd's energy. With Miami now a hub for celebrity-driven fight spectacles, the switch keeps attention on the event, while underscoring the fragile ground such promotions rest on.
Jake Paul both let everybody know that the location for their exhibition fight has changed from Atlanta to Florida. And let me tell you, it wasn't because Jake Paul just woke up in the morning and decided that he was going to change the venue. No, it was because of politics once again getting in the way of a Gervonta Davis fight. The amount of times that local small politicians play around with Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis's fights is at the point of being ridiculous right now. There is no way, without coercion, that this many venues, that Gervonta Davis has this many problems with venues. But this time, it wasn't a problem with the venue. It was a problem with the state of Georgia. Now, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of the videos like this. It's a little dollar sign by a comment. And thank you to my guy that did it yesterday with the big $5 holler. Thank you so much, man. I'll thank you directly in the video, but let's get to this because I'm sick of this, man. Every single solitary time, well, over the last 2 years, pretty much, and I'm saying this because I believe this to be true, pretty much since Gervonta Davis started having an argument.
Former champion Chris Algieri praised Jake Paul's impact on modern boxing, stressing that win or lose, Paul has marketed the sport in ways few traditional fighters could. Algieri noted that Paul brought in new fans who never cared about boxing before, turning his fights into crossover entertainment. Beyond competing, Paul has convinced big names, like Gervonta Davis, who already draws attention, to share the spotlight with him. The mix creates a unique stage where boxing collides with celebrity culture, attracting audiences who might never have bought a pay-per-view otherwise. Algieri's point is that this promotional genius shouldn't be dismissed just because Paul isn't a world champion. Instead, it proves boxing's growth often relies on figures willing to blur the line between sport and spectacle.
Whoa, hold on. I gotta respond. That's what I want, Chris. Go ahead. I didn't even get to talk.
Please.
So, what has he done for the sport? I mean, manufactured or not, he went out there and he performed and he got knockouts and people tuned in. Boxing fans tuned in. And you can talk about that shoe fight and that shoe. They're not boxing fans. Gervonta Davis sold pay-per-views to boxing fans. And he got boxing fans to come to fights, which is so needed. Desperately needed in this day and age.
They marketed him that way. You can market anybody. You can market it that way. You can market it that way. And champ, you should know better because you and I were very marketable and never got any marketing except as opponents for high-level fighters. And you should know that. They talk about great white hypes and all this other stuff. No, that's absolutely not true. They manufacture what they want to manufacture. Shakur Stevenson can be marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Andre Ward was very marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Why do black fighters only get marketed when they're quote-unquote ghetto, when there's class guys who you can market as great examples? Shakur Stevenson, Andre Ward, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm saying it. People complain because I'm too real, and I'm going to be honest. Why could Ray Leonard be manufactured as a... I don't even want to use the word manufactured because Ray Leonard actually was legit. Great fighter.
But Ray Leonard promoted as the class guy, and it worked. Why could you do it back then, but now you can't do it? Andre Ward was gold medalist the same way, class, could speak, mature, poised, could fight his ass off. Why didn't you market him the way you marketed Ray Leonard? What happened between 1976 and 2004? Why are you marketing Why are you marketing only Thug Life? Why? And I'm not saying, okay, I wasn't a part of this because I was a big fan of the hip-hop gangster rap generation and all this other stuff. But as a 44-year-old, you start to realize the concept of the entire scope of things. Why are you not marketing guys like Shakur Stevenson more? Why are you marketing this guy who doesn't want...
Analysts are split when comparing Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. Critics argue Davis is simply too small, making a truly competitive fight unrealistic, which is why any meeting would likely be an exhibition rather than a sanctioned bout. The issue with exhibitions, they note, is that without real stakes they struggle to keep long-term fan interest. On the other hand, many believe Davis's speed, slick style, and natural boxing IQ would allow him to embarrass Paul despite the size difference. For them, the matchup isn't about weight but about pedigree. Davis has fought elite champions, while Paul's resume remains limited. They picture Davis darting in, landing sharp shots, and making Paul look clumsy regardless of the gap in size.
Comment about it. My question is, what's the rules? And like, are they gonna actually try and knock each other out? Because it's gonna be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah,
You know,
big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's gonna eat his.
I thought
guts.
Jake was gonna fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed.
No, that was actually getting.
That
that
is
sounded
the
more
craziest
interesting.
idea I've ever heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
So
that.
what is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we
Yes.
don't punch each other in the jaw?
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
they
very
can get away
interesting
with
to
it.
me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
He's so small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person, and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person.
I've worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd
dude.
likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's so small. Wow.
Chael Sonnen, never one to hold back, said Jake Paul shocked the public by pivoting to Gervonta Davis instead of Anthony Taylor, who many expected next. Sonnen noted that while Davis is a phenomenal fighter, he isn't a natural salesman. His ability to hype events and capture mainstream coverage is limited compared to Paul. Jake, meanwhile, has built his career both inside and outside the ring, mastering the art of crafting narratives that sell. Sonnen's point is clear. Davis provides legitimacy with his skill, while Paul supplies the promotional machine. Without that balance, the fight wouldn't generate its current buzz. It's a partnership, raw fighting talent on one side, unmatched marketing instinct on the other.
Of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for 2. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay, so there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite, he could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's
Some analysts argue that while Gervonta Davis is feared for his knockout power at lightweight and super featherweight, that power may not carry over against someone Jake Paul's size. They believe Paul's natural weight and build give him a durability Davis can't crack. In smaller divisions, Davis's punches wear opponents down, but against a bigger frame, the same shots may not land with equal effect. Their viewpoint is straightforward: physics matters. Skill can overcome many obstacles, but size eventually becomes a shield. This skepticism fuels the idea that Davis versus Paul is more spectacle than sport, with one fighter too physically advantaged for the other's strengths to matter.
Yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had, but even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out. So what are we even doing? Where's the idea of this where's the idea that Gervonta is even gonna hurt him? He may hurt him to the body, whatever. Jake doesn't want to throw as much, but I don't see him one punch knocking Jake out. And, the same thing was kind of said with Logan. Like, okay, Floyd probably won't knock him out, but probably going to outbox him. I get where Dana's coming from. These things are not meant to be competitive fights. They're meant to make money and to, I guess, scratch that itch of the circus mystery unknown.
And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd, but he's too small. I mean, your brother's going to be able to, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up. But I don't hate your brother. Your brother's out there doing his thing. But it cracks me up that they want to start suing people that are talking shit when your brother talks more shit than anybody talks.
I think the thought process behind it is, okay, so Jake and I are obviously pretty polarizing individuals, and when an echo chamber starts and a rumor mill starts of like staged fight bullshit, which like these fights aren't staged, that's just, it's at that level, it's like almost impossible. I think they think that it affects the business and it affects the brand because people discredit him as actually having legitimate bouts. I think that's the theory. So to hold people accountable for
legitimate
perpetuating the rumor.
Legitimate meaning not fixed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And
which is, I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying that, right? So the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now, again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say, what some people do say, which is, we like to see Jake challenge himself. We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look.
Critics argue Jake Paul's rise isn't just built on promotion, but on a kind of disrespect toward past generations of fighters. They point out that by drawing retired legends back into the ring with promises of big paydays, he risks undermining the sport's integrity. Even icons like Mike Tyson have been tempted after years away, thrilling fans but sparking real safety concerns. The line between spectacle and exploitation blurs when aging legends are pulled into fights they would never have taken otherwise. While the money is undeniable, the danger is that boxing turns into a carnival where reputations and health are on the line. Paul thrives on this edge, but many see it as proof he's willing to bend tradition just to capture attention.
Not fixed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And
which is, I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying that, right? So the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now, again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say what some people do say, which is, we like to see Jake challenge himself. We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look, another fake fight. Oh, look, he's staging another one. Right? That's the thing that's, again, false. So I get it. I get why they're upset, but I also get why people categorize it the way they do. You just got to be better with your words. That's it.
And not many of the fights are legitimate fights, but not being fixed.
Hey,
you hit me here and I hit you there.
Yeah, I mean, Dana, that's insane.
I agree.
Let's choreograph.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if people are fucking saying stupid shit? People say dumb shit about me, my business. All the
former champion Sean Porter defended Gervonta Davis's choice to enter an exhibition with Jake Paul, saying critics overlook the bigger picture. To Porter, the fight isn't about proving greatness, but about securing financial stability for Davis and his family. Since it's an exhibition, risks are reduced to agreed rules and safety measures, with entertainment as the main goal. Porter stressed that fighters have short careers and must seize opportunities that bring both exposure and financial reward. From this view, Davis isn't selling out. He's protecting his future while giving fans a show. Porter's words highlight the balance between purists chasing legacy and fighters who must also plan for life beyond the ring.
They're trying to make it safer and, all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore, but it's still there with boxing. I think that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like, they're talking, like I don't know the official one, they're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh, damn.
Like, they're talking about these insane numbers. Like I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100 million or something like that. But I do see exactly what you're saying about the essence of boxing. I wish they would kind of separate a little more, because exhibitions have always been a thing. There's always been an argument.
Right.
But they're just selling it like a real fight almost.
Right.
So I think that maybe if we could create a better like distinction, more of a difference,
right,
there might be less hate on it. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not gonna tell Tank.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.